Hello students, we are here again with our chapter number 12, Motion and Time. In this chapter, we discussed about the slow and fast motion. Motion, all organisms which live on earth, they all do motion. They go from one place to another place. So in this chapter we have topics slow and fast motion, then measurement of time, then uniform and non-uniform speed, then measurement of speed. All things, all human beings which go from one place to another place. Think that means non-living things. From, for example, vehicles. They also go from one place to from one place to another place, not on self, but they go by uh, by any human being, any driver which drive the vehicles, and like this they also move from one place to another place. In them we have also a speed, measurement of speed. We can measure speed. So in this chapter we have topic like this: slow and fast motion, measurement of time. First, in this session we discussed about the measurement of time, sundial, then pendulum clock, then units of time, speed. In speed, uniform and non-uniform motion. You must have observed various vehicles moving on the road, or movement of pendulum in a wall clock, or even movement of fans. All things which we can see around us, they all do movement. In fan, in vehicles, all types of things do movement. Motion is also seen in different living bodies, like movement of fish in water, movement of snakes, ants, or cockroaches on the ground. All living organism, as I said to you, all living organism which live on earth, they all do movement. Then our first topic is slow and fast motion. Slow and fast motion. Sometimes a body that appears to be in motion in relation to one observed may appear to be at rest in relation to the other observer. Suppose you are sitting near the window of a car. Suppose you are sitting in a car nearby a window. When you sit in a car and the car is running, you can see outside of the car the all things like going, but not. But in fact, the things are not going. We are going. This also one type of motion we can see there. You will find the person sitting next to you at rest, while both you and the person sitting next to you will seem to be in motion to the person standing outside. Like this, when we sit in a car and the car is going, we assume that all things outside from the car also going, but no, the things are stay on their place. We are going. In other words, we can say that motion is relative. Motion is relative because we also feel this, and next person which we sit beside us, they also feel like us. They are relative. Actually, everything in the universe is in motion. Everything which is in universe, they are all in motion, and energy is required for their movement. Energy also required for movement. If we want to go from one place to another place, then if I want to go from one place to another place, then I use my legs for walking. And for walk, I need energy. Without energy, I don't go from one place to another place. So any person, anything which want to go from one place to another place, they need energy. For example, in human being, if human being want to go from one place to another place, they need energy. And how they get energy? They get energy by eating food. In non-living things, for example, vehicles also go from one place to another place, but they cannot eat food. They use their petrol, diesel. We use food for getting energy, they use petrol and diesel for getting energy. So like this, any type of living or non-living thing want to go from one place to another place, they want energy. You already know that animals and plants move without any external source of energy. But what about the movement of non-living objects? As I said to you, what about the non-living? About the non-living objects, a car or an aeroplane needs fuel to move from one place to another place. In other words, we can say that movement required energy which can be internal or provide externally, internally or externally. But all things which do movement, they all need energy. The movement of a body can also be termed as slow or fast depending upon the distance traveled by a thing, traveled by the vehicles, traveled by the human being. The distance which covered, they according to that distance we can say the movement is fast or slow. In your textbook on page number 190, the gravitational force between the in our solar system, we can also see there the gravitational force use and speed. All planets which stay there, all movement, they all do movement and use the speed. All has different speed according to their distance. Then measurement of time. You wake up in the morning, go to school, take classes, come home back, go to play in the evening, eat dinner and go to sleep. While performing all these activities, you find that accurate time measurement is necessary. When we get up in the morning, our time is fixed. When our school is running, we always get up at our fixed time. Then we take our bath, our breakfast and do some other work and then go for school. So all our work we do according to our time, according to measurement of time. In earlier times, people took the help of natural events to measure time since they occur at a regular interval of time. At our present time, we have clock. We all do our work according to time, and for time we all use clock. But in earlier time, they have no clock. They depend on natural things for time. For example, the time interval between sunrise and the next is a uniform time called day. The time period from one sunset to sunrise is called night. Similarly, time interval between one new moon and the next is called a month. A year is measured as the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution of the sun. When earth complete one revolution around the sun, this called 1 year is complete. So in earlier times and also our present time, the time measurement is depend on the natural things. Now discuss the device that were used to measurement of time. First is sundial. People in older times measured intervals of time shorter than a day with a device called sundial. In your textbooks on page number 191, the sundial in figure 12.2, the figure is available. You can see there sundial. The device worked on the principle that as the position of the sun in the sky. This dial is working on the position of the sun, so that the position and length of the shadow cast by an object. And therefore also they have given us activity 12.1. In this activity, to observe the length of shadows during daytime. Here the shadow of a stick at different times of the day. They first place the stick, then 7 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. You can also see on page number 191. That means this activity proved that the sundial is work on the position of the sun. When the sun is changed the position, that means the time is also changed. The sundial is work on the position of the sun. The decrease and the increase in the length of the shadow during daytime was used to measure time in sundials. The sundial has a triangular metallic plate. They have triangular metallic plate. The sundial has a triangular metallic plate fixed vertically at the center of a circular plate. Circular plate, they have a center in it. The device is placed in the open in such a way that points in the north-south direction. They have also direction have divided there, and according to their position, according to the shadow of the sun, the clock is working there. Then the other device of time measurement used by the people of older time were candle clocks. They have also used candle clocks and sand clocks. You can see in figure 12.4 candle clock and also a sand clock. Romans actually used sand clocks which work on the principle that a definite amount of sand takes constant time of fall from the upper chamber to the lower chamber. You have already seen about this sand clock. You are familiar with this clock. The sand clock is also called a hourglass. The sand is also called the hourglass. They have like a bowl. One bowl is full of sand. First, the sand is going from one bowl to another bowl. Then they go according to the speed of the sand, which go from one glass to another glass. Like this, they use sand clock for measure time. Then we have also activity 12.2 on page number 192 to make an hourglass or sand clock. You can read this activity from your textbook and try to understand. Then pendulum clock. A simple pendulum figure is available 12.5 on page number 193. This pendulum is also used for measuring time in older days. Then we have also activity 12.3 available to make a simple pendulum and find out its time period. All activities, we cannot able to do all the activity in our present time, so try to read this activity also from your textbook. Then fill up this table. You can fill this table after reading this activity. The pendulum is a pendulum clock swings continuously under the influence of a wood wound up spring and controls the action of its hands. They all controls. You can see also in 12.6 clock and watch used at home. Then we use the clock and watch at our home. Nowadays, most clocks and watches have electric circuit, which one or more cells are called digital or quartz clocks or watches. Digital clocks and watches are vibration of a quartz crystal and measure time much more accurately compared to the earlier variety. The earlier variety, like sundial, our present clocks are very accurate to measure the time. For example, our wristwatch, our wall clock, they are accurate measurement of time. And our present in modern time, we have also now smartwatch. We can talk, we can use our smartwatch in many ways like mobile. In our modern time, we have many benefits compared to our earlier time. Then units of time. Units of times, since the very of civilization, the gap between two consecutive noons is taken as a unit of time called day or a solar day. The solar day is divided into 24 equal parts and each part is called an hour. in our how many hour in our day? We have 24 day, 12 hour for night, 12 hour for day. 1 hour is further divided into 60 equal divisions where each division is called a minute. 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. When we want to measure them, we divide the hour by minute. This type all measurement you have also learned in your previous classes. In your maths also, the measurement of time. The duration from we have units of time like first hour, then minute, then second. We have like these units of time available. The SI unit of time is second and it is equal to 1 by 886/400th part of the solar day. We have also one equation that means one solar day is equal to 24 hours, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, 1 solar day is equal to 24 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60 is equal to 86,400 seconds and 1 second is equal to 1 by 86,400 of a solar day. I will also explain this measurement in our next session in detail. So, units of time. These are all the units of time. Then speed. Our next topic is speed. While moving in the car, you must have heard your father asking the driver not to overspeed, or while walking along the roadside you may have observed some cars moving at a higher speed than the others. Speed. Some person when two or more person walk on the road, we can see that one person walks slowly, other than fast when we compare them. That means the speed of them, or speed of walking of person. All when we go any place by using our car, we can see the all cars are moving on the road. They have no same speed. They have all different speed. If you cover the distance between your home and school by bus, when you use bus, you can see the all types of vehicles which run on road. They all use a different speed. The distance covered by a moving. Then we have also the counting of speed. If we want to count the speed of any vehicle, then we have formula in our this chapter. Speed is equal to total distance. Total distance, that means we cover the distance. For example, when you come to school, the distance between the school and your home, it's divided by the total time which you have taken, which you have take to come school from your home to school. This time is divided by that covered distance. When we divide them, we get the speed. When we divide them, we get the speed. The speed calculated here is actually the average speed. In speed, we use the measurement meter, kilometer, like this. We use them to. Then we have also activity 12.4 on page number 196. In this activity, to observe slow and fast motion and calculate the average speed. Calculate the average speed. That means in speed, when you want to measure any speed, then we have formula. Speed is equal to total distance covered. Total distance covered. Total distance covered divided by total time. Total distance covered divided by total time which you have used. This activity also show us how we find out the speed. Then uniform and non-uniform motion. If you observe the movement of any vehicle on the road, you will find that it keeps on changing its speed depending upon the availability of space. Availability of space, the all cars changing their speed. No, they do not go on one speed. If they find the space on the road, the speed of the vehicle will faster than compared to other cars. So according to their space, they go on the road and use their speed. If a body movement in a straight line covers equal distance in unequal intervals of time or vice versa, the body is said to be moving in non-uniform motion. On the other hand, a body moving in a straight line covering equal distance in equal intervals of time is said to be moving in uniform motion. If covering distances in equal intervals, then they are called the uniform motion, and not covering in equal motion, that means they are in non-uniform motion. Okay students, so all things which live on earth, they all do movement, they all do motion. In motion, they have not same speed. For example, in vehicles, when vehicle go on road, they do not have same speed. All vehicle have different speed according to their finding space. In measurement of time, in earlier days, people used like these things for measure time. They depend on natural things. Compared to this time, our present time, we have more better clocks for getting time. Then units of time. In units of time, we have hour, minute, second. Then speed. We can measure the speed of any type of vehicle, and for this we divide the covered distance by the taking time. Then we get the average speed of any vehicle, of any person. Then uniform and non-uniform motion. So students, in this session we have discussed about this topic. Now we will meet in our next session with our next topic.